Welcome to the Fantasy Thinker. I'm Jared Codemanch. Today I'm going to be doing just a quick review on non-fantasy. This is a history book that just recently finished. Now, a little bit of a caveat to this review, how I found this book. This was a complete impulse buy at my bookstore, and yeah, I was in there. I was like, I need something nonfiction this year to get in. I'd like to read a couple. I like to intersperse a couple of nonfiction stuff in between my fantasy, sci-fi, and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna get? And I couldn't really find anything on the regular shelves. I normally go for, like a big picture history. That's kind of my favorite type of history is the stuff that goes through thousands of years and all mankind and analyzes it in that manner. But then I saw this and I was like, following Caesar. So I kind of bought it on a whim. It's like from Rome to Constantinople, the pathways that planted the seeds of empire by John uh, Keahey or Keahey. I, forgive my pronunciation. But um, and I don't know what it was. I think it was just a cover, kind of drew me in, and plus it was short. It's only 220 pages, and I was like, okay, I'll get that because I can just fly through it. Now, as I delve further into it, it um, it kind of comes off as a travelogue. I've never read a travelogue before. This was kind of a new experience for me. Um, so basically, we're following him from Rome through Italy, where he's trying to follow a certain path. And that path is called the Via Appia, I think. Appia. Appia? Yeah. Appia. And so um, he's following this road because that was the name of the ancient Roman road that went from Rome all the way down to uh, Brundisium. Yes, in the little southern heel of Italy there, and so um, he's following this road. He's stopping in all these towns. He's getting to know the local historians and the local archaeologists that are in these areas as much as he can, and he gets their viewpoints on where the road actually is and where as compared to where the roads are now and what he's allowed access to and what he can find. Because you can't always find the traces of this road. Sometimes it just disappears, gone forever. But the parts of the road that are still there, he details, and more importantly for me, he details the history that happened in that section of Italy, in that section of the road. The book says following Caesar, but it's actually he's actually following a lot more people than that. He mentions Julius Caesar, and then he mentions Octavian. Octavia, the actual first emperor there, Augustus, and he's actually following. He follows Horace a lot. He details the sites that Virgil went to, um, and he also details like even where Hannibal went, in BC when it was still the Roman Republic, and so there was a bunch of other historical figures that he names that he's also following in their footsteps. I guess following Caesar was probably the easiest catch-all for all the historical figures that he was bringing up and following in this book. So Keahey has a very nice, easy flowing style. He details what he sees very economically and very in a nice simple way that's not, it doesn't overwhelm you with any kind of technical archaeological data or historical deep historical analysis. He just basically tells you about his journey and about the history surrounding these really neat cobbled roads. There was some fascinating areas where he came across the actual road that was there for 2,000 years, and that was really cool because in some of the towns and stuff, these areas were actually blocked off. Of course, no motorized traffic was allowed on these areas, and he could only walk over them if he was lucky. Sometimes they were totally condoned off, and he couldn't even do that. But um, which is understandable. These are ancient historical artifacts from the Roman Republic. um, and so he also details some of the emperors that were responsible for building the roads and maintaining the roads, including Julius Caesar, who's one of his early jobs as a senator was actually maintaining the Appia, the Via Appia in Italy, and also he goes across. He details his journey across the Balkans, which many Caesar went on the Via Egnatia, something like that, which goes from the Adriatic Sea in Albania all the way across the top of what is now North Macedonia and the top of Greece, all the way into Turkey to Istanbul, which used to be Constantinople, way back there, which ends at the Hagia Sophia Cathedral in Istanbul. So that journey was fascinating. He couldn't. He was traveling during the pandemic, so that added a bunch of complications to it. He could not get into Albania because of the pandemic, and so he had to go around Albania and couldn't see that part of the road due to those circumstances. But he was able to get around Albania into North Macedonia, where he was started his journey to follow this Egnatia road through North Macedonia, then a lot of the way through northern Greece, all the way to Turkey, and seeing the end at the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul was kind of the culmination of this journey, and it's fascinatingly detailed. And so, if you have you know, any inclination for travel logs and for the history surrounding everything Roman that went into the building of the roads in Italy and northern Greece, at back in during the Roman Republic expansion era, and of course then the empire after that. Then you would want to do yourself a favor and pick this book up. It's nice and short. It's a quick read, and it's an easy read. It's not complex or anything like that. There's nothing that's going to get you tongue tied or hung up on words or anything like that. He explains everything very in layman's terms, and it's really not a bad book at all. I enjoyed it. Wasn't what I expected. I was, I'm more, like I said, I'm more of a big history, deep history kind of guy, but this was a nice light read for me to get through quickly, and I enjoyed it a lot. So, Following Caesar by John Keahey, and that's it for today. Be good to each other, and thank you.